Welcome to the Social Lens and thank you for watching. In a relentless and deeply concerning trend, the price of fuel has once again surged in South Africa, triggering widespread dismay among the nation's populace. With many struggling to make ends meet, the constant rise in the cost of living is pushing individuals and households to their breaking point. The latest fuel price hike, attributed to a global shortage of diesel, increased oil prices, and the imposition of an additional slate levy, threatens to exacerbate the already dire financial predicaments faced by countless South Africans. Despite a relative slowdown in inflation and a recent decision by the Reserve Bank not to raise interest rates, the persistent struggle of South Africans to match escalating expenses with stagnant incomes is casting a dark cloud over the nation's economic prospects. Labour Federation COSATU has warned that the latest increase is further detrimental to an already beleaguered economy. As South Africans awoke to the sobering reality of higher fuel prices, the shock was compounded by the fact that the increase exceeded earlier predictions. The Department of Mineral Resources and Energy's latest data reveals that both grades of petrol are set to become more expensive. The price hike amounts to an additional burden on the already fragile financial stability of citizens. Analysts had initially foreseen a smaller increase, but the surge in fuel prices proved to be significantly higher, with both grades of petrol climbing between 1.8 cents and 1.11 cents per litre. The relentless ascent in fuel prices is inextricably linked to the rising cost of living in South Africa. For most citizens, this surge means increased expenses across various aspects of their lives. This disparity is causing financial distress, particularly among the poor and the working class. The increase in fuel prices also contributes to higher food costs. Farmers and suppliers often pass on their increased transportation expenses to consumers, leading to elevated prices for essential goods. This affects the ability of households to afford nutritious meals and contributes to the ongoing challenge of food insecurity in the country. The widening gap between income and expenses is exacerbating economic inequality in South Africa. Those with fixed incomes or low-wage jobs are the most vulnerable, as they struggle to meet their basic needs and secure a decent standard of living. This disparity threatens social cohesion and exacerbates existing economic disparities. Amid mounting public frustration and concerns about the overall economic impact, the South African government is under pressure to address the issue promptly. Several measures have been proposed to alleviate the financial strain on citizens. Advocates argue that the government should consider implementing fuel price subsidies to cushion the blow for consumers, especially those in the lower income brackets. Such subsidies could help stabilize fuel prices and alleviate some of the financial pressure on households. The Congress of South African Trade Unions, COSATU, a prominent labor federation in the country, has voiced its strong concerns about the economic consequences of the fuel price hike. COSATU Secretary General emphasized that the latest increase is unwelcome news for an already ailing economy. He stated, "The economy is already bleeding jobs and experiencing low growth rates. This fuel price hike will only worsen the situation, with job losses likely to increase and the cost of living spiraling out of control." COSATU has also called for coordinated efforts between labor unions, government, and employers to address the challenges posed by the rising cost of living. The Federation believes that a united front is necessary to protect the interests of workers and ensure their financial well-being. The surge in fuel prices in South Africa is not occurring in isolation. Several global factors have converged to drive up the cost of fuel, creating a challenging environment for both consumers and governments worldwide. A shortage of diesel on the global market has had a significant impact on fuel prices. Diesel is a critical fuel for various sectors, including transportation and industry. As the demand for diesel outstrips supply, prices have risen, affecting not only South Africa but also other nations reliant on this fuel. Global oil prices have been on an upward trajectory in recent months, driven by geopolitical tensions, supply constraints, and increased demand as economies recover from the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. South Africa, like many countries, is susceptible to fluctuations in international oil markets. The imposition of an additional slate levy by the government further compounds the challenges faced by consumers. This levy, intended to generate revenue for the state, has contributed to the higher cost of fuel and, subsequently, the overall cost of living. As the price of fuel soars yet again in South Africa, the already burdensome cost of living becomes even more overwhelming for many citizens. Stagnant salaries, coupled with escalating expenses for food, fuel, housing, and utilities, are pushing individuals and households to the brink of financial instability. The latest fuel price hike, exceeding earlier predictions, compounds the hardship faced by the nation's working class and poor. As South Africa grapples with these economic challenges, the nation is at a critical juncture, requiring both decisive policy actions and collaboration between stakeholders to ensure that the cost of living does not become an insurmountable burden for its citizens. If you found this video informative, please click the like button and consider subscribing to the channel. Until next time.